So now it's not great. We can't see a whole lot of the bottom photo. Before I knock everything over in my room. All right, so there we go. But was it like this when, you know what? I'm going to go in the other direction.
Yeah, okay, there's Century.
Right. So,
There's Century behind it, that flat building.
yes.
That was just basically a maintenance
Garage.
storage facility. Yes, that picture is from when I was doing the security work
That's what
there.
I thought. Yeah.
So you got Century, you got the maintenance building,
Hmm.
and then the big flat building up at the top of the picture
Hmm.
was it's an ambulance
Garage,
um,
right?
medical facility.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
where they
one here.
where they keep the hospital ambulances.
Right. So the one like right there.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
This was all there when we walked through. So I remember most of this, and it was a really hot summer day. So it was like, oh, it was dying out in the parking lot pavement.
Yeah. Your shoes are bonding to the cement. Yeah.
It was so hot out there. It was like July or something, and it was, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because we just randomly were up there. I'm just like, let's go walk through the facility. And we went by, and I mean, Century Manor, it was all boarded up. Well, kind of boarded up at that point. It wasn't like really, really boarded up. It was
Not like it is today.
people were
Yeah.
breaking into it all the time. Right. But yeah, so really interesting though that, this whole piece is just long gone. And that, now we're looking at essentially what is behind it here. And I mean, this picture goes, but I can't get it to move, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, really sort of a fascinating difference between the two shots, right? But it's a very imposing structure. I mean, I can't even imagine as somebody, um, coming into the hospital for the first time, rolling up to this gigantic facility, how intimidating that would have been,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? How I think that would have been really scary all on its own. Like you're rolling up. I mean, it's a beautiful building. It's gorgeous, but yet, you've got this entrance
It,
way and then you
yeah.
would have
It would have been just intensely overwhelming.
yeah. And, and at that point in time too, I don't know that it had any elevators. You would have just been walking up and down those
Probably
flights of
not.
stairs into the building. And imagine having to be staff carting food and everything up and down to patients who didn't leave their rooms, right? Because I suspect they would have had a
They
canteen or
probably had dumbwaiters or something in there to.
they must have. I
Yeah.
mean, what an amazingly interesting facility to, again, totally creepy, but I love it. Like I like these old buildings in terms of their architecture. I mean, nothing comes close to them today in terms of the
Yeah. Oh,
architecture.
I mean, just look at that photograph. Yeah. Wow. They just sure don't make them like that anymore. That's for sure.
No, and the time that went into making the facility look the way it did. I mean, I find today that hospitals are so just cold and austere looking, and they're not, they don't have any kind of character. I don't know that I think today's hospitals are more terrifying. I don't know. Maybe that's me. There's Century there. Yeah, what's left of that. So, but that's kind of the thing. It's like this was the height of really architecture in terms of that style, that Victorian Gothic looking
Yeah. Yeah.
facility, right? And I mean the Buffalo Asylum too is I got a couple stories around that one. We should talk about that one day because it's still standing mostly today. There's a boutique hotel in it today, in part
Oh
of it.
my God.
Part of it's completely boarded up with fencing around it, and the other part is a boutique hotel. And then, like this facility, they built a new, institution beside it on the same grounds. But we were there one day and took a drive around. We'll have to do a show on that one because it's a fascinating, and I got a very fascinating story. And oddly enough, Tim Shaw ties into the story.
Oh, I know. I know the story. Yeah, yeah. I've heard Tim talk about it before. Yeah,
Right. In a weird kind of way, because I had no idea that the two were going to collide like this, right? And it was just the weirdest thing. Yeah. So we'll save that for another show because
yeah,
it's really an interesting story. And I'm still waiting to see the photograph, Tim, if you ever watch our show. I'm waiting for that photo. But that being said, I guess, we're pretty much done for today.
yeah.
If anybody else out there has had any experiences on this property, feel free to share your stories with us because we always love to hear, other people's firsthand experiences. Like I said, when I went there and did the walk, it was, a July hot summer day, 90 degrees on the pavement plus. But it was still so fascinating and I picked
Yeah.
up on so many things.
But
And like I said,
let's clarify though. We
yeah,
want to hear about paranormal stories.
yes, not
I
breaking
I
into
do not want to
zombie
hear
stories.
about how you trespassed on the property and broke in doing
Right.
urban exploration. I don't want to hear about that.
Although,
We,
there is a place for that, but not, not to the detriment of buildings. I think that there is that as well. And I think that was the reason that Century House, unfortunately, it has been broken into so many times and just
it's developed its own kind of legend about it
oh, it
that
has.
is drawing all these urban explorers
Yes.
to break in and trespass and
Hmm.
do
And
whatever they're
unfortunately,
doing inside that building.
it
And
destroys the building
yeah,
and even further beyond. I mean, once you smash out, and look at these windows.